What does leadership look like? It's not a dramatic speech, a shiny badge, or rescuing someone in need. Sometimes it's about empowering the least among us to stand before a crowd of 150 hungry campers and decide when they can eat. This is a story of three 15-year-old young women who went from being overlooked and underestimated to running a kitchen with poise, control, and confidence. My boys, who are both Eagles and are currently 20 and 23, enjoy and appreciate helping other scouts. Collectively, they've worked at the local Boy Scout camp for about 15 years. If you consider a year the 7 weeks that they spend at camp. I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could join them? It'd be a lot of fun. I could get to know some of their friends, and I could see and experience some of their humor. They can be hilarious. I applied. Before I applied, I checked with my younger son to get his approval. And kind of like Jasmine, he avoided the question, shuffled back and forth, but he finally acquiesced. So I talked to the camp director, and I got the job as kitchen manager. The situation was, I had a crew of 4 young kids, 3 15-year-olds and 1 17-year-old, who was about half the maturity of the 15-year-olds. The 15-year-olds, some of you might surmise, were girls. They had experience. Between the 3 of them, they had worked collectively 7 weeks at camp before. They were mature, willing to work. They were serious. My type of employees. They had a big job to do. And that job included feeding 150 to 350 campers each week. Additionally, taking charge of other campers who were randomly assigned to work in the kitchen, cleaning tables, washing dishes, taking out trash. It's a simple enough job, but to organize everything takes some doing. The problem is, most of the rotating staff that came in to help in the galley, the kitchen, didn't know their position. They didn't know what was required. And these girls were short in stature, petite. And it's very easy for the bigger guys to slip out the back. One afternoon at lunch, the lifeguards, who are very cliquey and wear their own uniform and get a premium pay and consider themselves as professional athletes there at camp, they all disappeared. They all slept out the back. Maybe they had training, maybe they had something important to do, but my 3 girls were left holding the bag. That didn't work. Ideally, You would have people who recognize the roles and responsibilities and the obligations of running a camp. Ideally, they would all jump in and rush to help, and they would make a game of competing with their fellow staffers to get the job done. Ideally, their time in the kitchen would be a highlight of their week at camp. But none of that happened. And my girls were left with a big responsibility and no one to help. Word got out, and the camp director said, "Oh, I'll talk to the lifeguards." In my mind, that's the worst thing that could have been done. We took agency away from these girls. I have a different perspective and understanding of leadership. It's to empower those girls. Luckily, Boy Scouts in general are a culture of helping out, of respect, of stewardship, reverence. And so I had a lot to work with. What I did was I came up with a system. Who knows this? Okay? This is the Boy Scout symbol to reciprocate. Everybody starts putting up their hands, and it's to go silence. So I trained my girls to keep the doors locked, but go out to the boys, the campers, who are queuing up, waiting to eat. They went out in twos to support each other. They commanded silence. They called up that meal's group of volunteers and called them to the front, publicly acknowledging them and rewarding them with head-of-the-line privileges. They gave them clear directions of what was required after the meal, where to meet, and their responsibilities. And all the boys complied. To sweeten the deal, I had the girls give out cookies to all of the volunteers who helped in the kitchen. That is leadership. Leadership isn't about swooping in and saving the day. It's about empowering others to succeed. These three young women discovered that they could command respect, inspire cooperation, and get the job done. Not because their job was done for them, but because they were trusted. They were given the tools and authorities to rise to the challenge. When you want to be a better leader, empower those around you and watch them rise to the occasion. Click the like button to help share this valuable message. Share this video with someone who could use encouragement or direction. And let us know how you overcame your challenge. May you empower someone today. Until next time, let us give thanks for our daily bread.